The Paul George trade rumors are over. But the Thunder of all teams? That's sort of surprising. So this is the official trade. I am using Embrace the Pacers off-season roster. And since he's a legend, he already made the trade in the roster. But the Thunder are giving up Victor Oladipo and Domantas Sabonis in return for Paul George. The Lakers were rumored to get Paul George. The Celtics were rumored to get Paul George. The Cavs were rumored to get Paul George. I had not heard the Thunder once in any of these rumors. Yet the Thunder get Paul George to replace Kevin Durant. Andre Roberson's going to shoot a three. What? Andre Roberson made a shot? But anyway, this is a huge freaking trade. The Thunder don't want to tank. And since they have Westbrook, I don't blame them. They have a talented team. They just made the playoffs. I understand minus Westbrook, they don't have a talented team. But I don't think they should trade Westbrook. I don't think they should tank. I think this is the right move. While they're giving up two solid young pieces, neither of them are better than Paul George. I think it's a good trade for the Thunder. Now, Paul George may leave in the offseason, which is the only thing. But don't be surprised if he stays, even though he said he wants to join the Lakers. So obviously the Lakers get an F on this trade, even though it's not even their fault. So, I mean, you can't really blame them for the F. But I'm still going to give them an F because they might not get Paul George. Like, if Paul George enjoys it with the Thunder, he's probably going to stay with the Thunder. Now, he does have a player option for like 20 mil, but he's obviously going to decline that because he's going to want much more money. He did in my Sellers series, and he joined the Warriors, just like Kevin Durant. But they didn't have Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant stayed on the Thunder because we started the offseason, which is very strange. But anyway, I'm not focused. So, my grade for the Thunder is an A-. Now, what they're giving up, Victor Oladipo, he was their second or third best player in the regular season last year. But he absolutely sucked in the playoffs. The Thunder, I don't remember if the series against Houston was 5 or 6 games. I think it was 5, but it might have been 6. But Victor Oladipo was awful. I mean, everyone was awful, but Victor Oladipo was, like, super awful. Like, he probably had, like, 10 points the whole series. Okay, that's a bit extreme, though. He sucked. He was trash. But he's still a pretty good player. I mean, that was his first time in the playoffs. And, I mean, he's probably not going to go to the playoffs for a while, considering he's on the Pacers now. And the Pacers, they're not very good. They're going for a rebuild. Now, Domantas Sabonis, they got in the Serge Ibaka trade. And now everyone in that Serge Ibaka trade, they've traded. Now, let's look at the Serge Ibaka trade. So, ever since the Serge Ibaka trade, everyone in that Serge Ibaka trade has been traded. The first player was Ruslan Ilyasova, who was traded to the 76ers for Jeremy Grant, like the third game of the season. Then he was traded to the Hawks during the trade deadline. Then the second one was Serge Ibaka himself. Serge Ibaka was traded to the Toronto Raptors at the trade deadline. And now Victor Oladipo and the 11th pick of the 2016 draft, which was Domantas Sabonis, are now being traded for Paul George. Now let's look at the Pacers side of this. Now, if I had a choice of Julius Randle, Jordan Clarkson, and 2 first-round picks, or Victor Oladipo and Domantas Sabonis, you know what I'd choose? Randle, Clarkson, and the 2 draft picks. But, they're still getting value for him. I think this is better for the Pacers than it is for Chris Paul and the Clippers and Jimmy Butler and the Bulls. I think the Jimmy Butler trade for the Bulls wasn't too bad. But Jimmy Butler never said he wanted to leave. While they said they're going into a rebuild, they didn't necessarily have to as much as the Pacers. But this is an excellent trade for the Pacers because I got rid of Paul George. So basically they got Victor Oladipo and Domantas Sabonis for a player who would help your team for the next season. And if anything, not help your team, because instead of like getting the lottery pick, there's a chance they might make the playoffs. Now the big losers, obviously the Lakers, obviously Miles Turner, because while he's going to be the best player, he's going to be missing the playoffs for like 4 or 5 years. In a way, he'll kind of be like DeMarcus Cousins, a very talented big man he's the best player on his team. I mean, not the first 2 seasons of his career, but now he's the best player on that team. But he's going to keep missing the playoffs, which, I mean, I feel kind of bad for him. He doesn't deserve that. The next loser, maybe TJ Leaf, you could say, because he was just drafted to them. And now they're going to suck. Then again, he'll get good playing time, so. Maybe Victor Oladipo's development, because he made it to the playoffs last year. And now he kind of knows what it's like, but he's not going to be there again for a while. Unless the Pacers trade him, or for whatever reason the Pacers do good. The Pacers have scored 0 points. That just shows you the Pacers are not going to be good. They've scored... Okay, I jinxed it. But that's the trade. I'm going to give the Pacers an A. So I don't like to give both teams good grades, but I'm going to give both of them an A, not an A+. Like the Clippers I gave like a C. The Bulls I gave like a B-. But the Pacers, I'm giving them an A. It's not like they're getting... I think the Bulls got the most value for Jimmy Butler. I think that's by far more value than the Clippers got for Paul George, and the Pacers got for Paul George. But the Pacers needed to trade him more than the Clippers needed to trade Chris Paul, and the Bulls needed to trade Jimmy Butler. You could argue Chris Paul because he was a free agent, but I wouldn't have been surprised if he returned to the Clippers. But of course, Paul George is a free agent, which makes it very risky for the Thunder. But they're going to be good next year. Very good.